everybody, and welcome back to another What If Civilization Started Over video. And today we are going to be talking about probably the pre-war episode of World War II. Last episode we saw that this rebellion over here was funded by none other than this Russian team up here. And the Russian team is going to be doing something in this episode that is going to cause World War II. And that thing is attacking this light pink team. They're going to march in a little bit at the south part of it, and eventually, because some troops were stationed on the border. But eventually, once most of the troops get here, they capture all these troops on the inside, and take the city, with it being downgraded to just a major city. Then they go ahead and capitulate the rest of it by going up to here and taking out all this side until they're forced surrender, where they get all this land, and they're going to go ahead and take it all over. Then, the next thing we see is down in Africa. There was a lot of stuff that happened in Africa with the Cyan team's collapse, and now they want revenge. And since they're in a pretty long strip of land, they're going to go into this one and then just immediately take it out, which is very easy thing to do. But now the outside people are kind of mad about this, but they can't do anything because they're not very strong yet. But another thing that is going to be happening is we're going to put the major city back. And that's really going to be all of Cyan team. They're going to trying to reform what they've done so far. And next, they might go after another one of these guys eventually. But right now, they're just really spread out, so they're going to try to regroup and get all their people back in a safer area than where some are. And the next thing we see is going to be down in South Africa. And the thing that's going to be happening is they're going to go and invade Madagascar. And they go and invade the bottom of it, reaching up this end and taking over a major city. Just like that. And as they go up more, the forces that are on the island will slowly cut them down and eventually recapture the major city while trapping most of their army up here with them. But the army up here eventually takes over the northern part, and then eventually both of the armies work together to take over the major cities. And fighting both fronts is hard, but eventually their northern front gets going, and eventually almost retake the city by completely surrounding it. And eventually they creep closer, eventually take it all. And then this team is going to march into their territory, their actual territory. This is going to go pretty well for them as they take one major city, but eventually they lose all of the island. And then when the forces get back over there, they eventually come down and trap them. this. And then their allies, which is the blue team, and then the purple team, are going to come into the war and help invade. Just like that. But eventually, this major city gets recaptured, all this land taken back. And then, by the time their reinforcement troops get back down here, the war is pretty much over. With the only really major thing happening in it is the South, this South African team going back and taking all their land back, while the purple team marches some of their troops into this area. And then this is where the war ends. This is like an alliance that is getting pretty beaten up from World War One. This green country right here, and then the war that just happened. So that's 3 wars. One with red team, one with this team, and then one with South Africa, which is pretty devastating. But the next thing that's going to be happening is this orange team getting surrounded by the red team. Since they're already pretty much surrounded by all sides, they're going to march straight in. And then that secret coalition that this red team had and this orange team had is activated. But before they can really do anything, they get to the sea and take all of their capital. And then the dark red team is going to march straight in, capturing this major city and going back to their old border that they had. So back to the old border, but a little farther in. Then up north here, they're going to go in and take over just like this. And then we gotta change this to major city. And then boom. So red team now has all this stuff. Just like this. And then we gotta change the capital back to major city. And then up here, the red team's going to take heavy losses, which with this red team marching straight in because they didn't know about the secret alliance. Just like this. And they're going to go absolutely ham, but militarizing a lot of their population. Just like this. And then they're going to take all this land. Eventually, down south, the red team gets to about this far in, when they go back up to here and they send a lot of their troops right by to the capital and trapping some of them. Eventually, the capital surrounded and taken over. Meanwhile, those troops still are stuck there. Both the red team now coming at this team from the sea. It is over, and they both surrender. While this red team getting some of their land back, but not their capital. As their capital is going to be promoted right here, which means that the red team gets another big city. Meanwhile, the orange team is going to get this stuff back, and this whole war angered the surrounding nations. but they're not going to take action just yet. But it's going to be something like this, with the orange team asking to take land that they didn't really invade. So now they have all this area. So now if there was ever another war, they can do it again. Like surround them again. But that means up here, the red team does get this little bit of land. And then the provinces need to be fixed, so we're going to fix the provinces just a little bit. Just like that. And then before World War II, I'm going to do all the provinces. So all the provinces will be done before World War II. So look forward to that. And eventually, once we go back down to countries, they're going to promote their capital down to there. And then all is good now with a lot of these wars being over. And the red team will slowly get their land back. And then there's one more thing happening before this episode is done, which will probably be the start of World War II. This event that happens. It'll be with the Cyan team. And what's going to happen is they're going to go down here, and there was this brown ship, like a oil tanker, that was sending its stuff down through here to a little shipping post right into this territory. When the Cyan team sees this and thinks it's a destroyer coming to attack them, and then they blow it up, which is going to make the brown team declare war on the Cyan team, which with the alliances we can see might rally something up. But before we go over, we're going to need to activate the alliance thing, and we're going to make a new layer. We're going to rename it Alliances. And on this one, we're going to make all these different shapes for the all these different shapes, so that we can there's going to be it's not a square alliance, so but we're going to take this and we're going to make this team so that's going to be there. Then we're going to head over to these teams. We're going to draw in theirs. And then one more thing to do, we need to go up and we need to make this triangle alliance there's not going to be a triangle alliance up here. There's just going to be this one in the triangle alliance, as well as this blue team. And then there's going to be a new alliance, because there's a square alliance up here, But the Square Alliance has been torn apart. It's not going to exist anymore. And there's a Trapezoid Alliance. But yeah, the main thing that's going to start World War II is the angry nations around it being mad because they just took over their ally. And then this Finnish team, I would say, is very fearing for their life, but they're still in an alliance. Just like that. And then there's going to be one more alliance that was made right before the brown team thing was exploded. It was a new Circle Alliance. That's going to be between Cyan Team, and it's also going to be, included with the Red Team, which is another big thing, big in this war. And then also this round team. And that'll be all the alliances in World War II. So now we can get rid of the other alliance map. And we could fix up these alliances. Okay, so now we can see the triangle, the trapezoid, and then the Circle Alliance. Just like this. And the world looks pretty weird without this stuff on. Because you might not be used to it like this. Honestly, it looks pretty nice. And that's probably going to do it for today's episode. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.